going to die down here.
Thank you for that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. I hope you're all well. And of course, that was Mattingham hitting me with a good old Red Queen.
Yeah, I do all the work and I'm so fucking tired.
And Tum Tums being rude. So, yeah, starting the stream off rude. Wow, Tam Tam. As you can see, we are back in modern Minecraft. It's not Monday. We actually managed to get in. A bit delayed this evening because a certain stupid person still had it in test mode and couldn't work out why the hell they couldn't log into the server. Sorry, I could log into the server but couldn't actually get the stream up, and it was because the stream was still in test mode. There's an Ajoma in his full decked out emerald armour. You've not upgraded your jetpack yet to emerald jetpack. Again, as usual, we are going to be continuing with the food windmill. I have done a couple of changes, like I said I was going to do between streams. Primarily being, I've dug out the area underneath.
Bunch of dirt and blocks. I'd rather be ruling my kingdom.
Well, she's not wrong. But yeah, so this is ready for everything down here. I told you she's got a sass back. I don't know why it disappeared, but she's got a sass back. So yeah, see, that's completely thrown me now. So obviously we've got the pink windmill, but I want to make the jetpack because the everlasting abilities, it's a bit slow. And I'm not a fan of it being slow. So I'm actually going to make it. So it is the iron jetpacks. We do it like that. We'll make sure that we get just the jetpacks. Couple of new mods that have been added. Mods have been updated as well. You're looking to raid some resources. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, so it's going to be the iron jetpack today. Primarily. I need to get that done. I need to be able to move around and phantoms. So I need to sleep through the night properly. So I shall go sleep in my rather fancy bed that I have. Because phantoms are annoying. What are these houses going to be? Well, this one, the purple one, it's going to be for vinery. It was originally going to be like little mini guest house, but no, that's now going to be vinery when I get into that, and brewing and all that kind of wonderful stuff. You know, I thought purple building, wine, why not? One of these, though I don't think it's going to be that one. I think this one, I think there'll be another building here, which I'm thinking of linking into this building here, which will be the new honeypot building. And I'm thinking of letting bees have free reign in there. I picked up some goats. They keep escaping. They're a pain in the ass for jumping miles into the air. As you can hear, we've got some different sounds added just to make it a bit more different. Obviously we've got the power plant still as normal. It is just an Ajoma that's on at the moment. That's okay. Right, so jetpack. At least you haven't had a chicken problem. Have you corrected your chicken problem? That is the question, Mattingham, because, yeah, in Mattingham's basement, he had 1,000,001 chickens. So one of the mods that's on at the moment that I've put on to try and alleviate that problem is make it so that chicken eggs only hatch. Oh my god. Yeah, chicken eggs will now only hatch if it's on straw. Oh my god, look at all these chickens. Oh my god. Turn my magnet off so I don't pick up any of the eggs. So yeah, we shouldn't get 150 million baby chickens being spawned just randomly. You evicted the chickens, you just threw them outside rather than killing them off. They need murdering. You know. It's not the kingdom of chickens. There's some here. Oh god, where's he spotted them? Did you miss some chickens when you were doing some evicting, Mattingham? I can hear some. Yeah, there's one there. Baby chicken there. Another one there. Another one there. It's full of them. It's full of baby chickens still. Oh my god. I don't know what's happened there. I honestly do not know. It's like initially I thought, well, maybe this was built on top of your basement and that for some reason they were spawning underneath. But as you saw from what I posted on Discord, that is not the case. Let me just have a look. Can I show you on Discord without showing everything else? Kinda. So, as you can see, there were all these here, and that's where his chicken farm is. I went in spectator mode to have a proper look. And that's where it is, but as you can see, he doesn't have a basement over here. His basement's over to the left. And he had an absolute crap ton of chickens at the top of the stairs. And it looks like he's got a crap ton of chickens still in his basement. So, only thing that I can think of is he either had a chicken down there and it was self-replicating somehow. And the eggs were hatching and being turned into chickens. I know at one point Mattingham was complaining, saying that he couldn't get chickens and now he's got way too many of them. You know, I've got my little place here where I've just got chickens here as the lathe that get dumped into this box and voided that are extra. Be careful what you wish for. I think that is very much the case in this regard, because he did literally go from no chickens at all to, at the moment, it seems to be all the chickens in the world. I've got to say, it might be a case of that I might end up going chicken murdering if I have to. But anyway, that's not getting me doing what I'm doing. So, we're going to have to make the very basic jetpack to start off with. I do believe it is just the wooden one. So what do we need? We need to make the belt. Well, that's going to be easy enough. We've got all of these in the tablet, so we may as well do that straight out the bat. So we want some nuggets, 2 of, and we want some leather, 3 of. Could have chicken nuggets with the amount of chickens there is. So what was it? That and that. My god, I remembered it. So 1 leather strap, shove it into the tablet because grab it straight back out. So next thing that we need to make one of these wooden capacitors. Now we're going to have to make some of these coils. I can pretty much guarantee that. So capacitor. Again, uses wood, but we're going to make wooden energy cells. which, as you can see here, this is the recipe for this, but we need to make the basic coils. So you see, you've got to go all the way right back to the beginning. So we're going to need iron, a stick, and some stone dust. He's putting chicken eggs in there. Look at him. Bane of the server. So, first things first. Let's get some wood. It's raining. God, all it ever does is rain on this server. Oh, and I've just lost my chat. Yeah, Massim just said, I'll do it another day. I'm very tired. I'll see you soon. I don't blame you. You've done a lot of travelling over the last couple of days. Right, so we needed some wood, we needed some iron. I don't know how much we're going to need. We're going to definitely need redstone, so I'll grab a load of that. We may as well turn this into oak planks. Actually, I may as well just turn that all into it. I'm going to turn that into sticks. And we've got... You need gold, diamond, emerald as well. That is true. I may as well do that so I don't have to keep running back. I'm actually going to grab a couple of stacks of the good old redstone. I will grab some emeralds, some diamond, some gold. Going to need some copper. Let's actually have a look, see what order. So we can go up to copper, and then copper can go iron. Iron goes to gold. Gold goes to diamond. And then diamond goes to emerald. Right, so we don't have to do like a bronze one or anything like that. That's good to know. So, we need to make one of these basic coils. Start off with. So in we go. It's got an EMC value. So as always, we are going to shove it into the tablet. Like so. Then we're going to grab it straight back out. Now for these batteries, we only need the one. Thank God. So a battery. We will craft one. Make 11, then convert 5 to batteries for each type. So we've got the wooden energy cell. Again, it's got an EMC value, so we'll shove that in. We know we need 3 of these, so we'll grab that because we are making the wooden capacitor. So 3. And that's got us the wooden capacitor. Again, EMC value. So as always, shove it in. Grab the capacitor out. I assume we only need the one, which we do. Then we've got to make these thrusters. Oh, excuse me, I'm just sneezing my head off. Right, so we need a furnace, we need a cell, and we need 3 of those coils. So we need 3 of those, as I said. We need a furnace, which we have in there. And I've already forgot what the other thing was. Just the wood. Actually, we only need 1 of those because we're going to be pulling from the EMC. It helps if I actually get the, what they're called, coils. 3 coils. So, into there. Wooden thruster. Get 1, again, EMC value, which is exactly what we want. Shove it into the tablet. Grab 2 out. And then let's see if we've got everything that we need to make it. Which we do, because the button's lit up. If it wasn't, it would be red. And if you put your mouse over it, it would show what was missing. So, wooden jetpack holds absolutely bugger all energy. So, obviously, you do want to upgrade it. There is no point trying to fly around on the wooden one because you'd probably get as far as a hill and then drop out of the sky. So, wooden jetpack in. And again, pull it straight back out. If you press U while on it, you can see what you can do to upgrade it. I'm going to jump straight to copper, or try to. We'll see what we need for this. So the copper needs these copper energy cells. So it's kind of rinsing and repeating of what you've already done. So what I'm going to do here is, because it looks like we're going to need these cells potentially for a bit. Let's actually have a look. What does the... So if we made that iron, what do you use? Right, so we only need them for this next one, so scrap that. We don't need as many as I thought. Right, so we are making one of these, one of the copper batteries, again, into the tablet. We need 3 of those. And then, of course, we're making the copper capacitor. Again, into the tablet. And then we need to make the copper thruster, which it looks like it's going to need a furnace for each one, so may as well just grab a stack of furnaces, because then we've got them and we don't have to keep repeating ourselves. So we need a cell, because I didn't get any out. Is that everything that we need for a thruster? Again, we have that. So craft it into the tablet. Grab 2 of the thrusters onto the copper jetpack. Again, nothing is, well, the button's there, so you can see it's ready to go. And we've got ourselves a copper jetpack. The difference between it is how much energy the jetpacks will store. So you see that one's got 20,000 FE, that one's got 250,000 FE. I think the difference also is with the anything other than the emerald one, you don't hover in place, you'll hover and start to gradually drop down all the time. So you want to be aiming for the emerald one. Right, so that one, again, into the tablet and hit straight back out. So we're going straight from the copper to the iron. Again, we could make these if you so wanted, but I want to get shortest route to the emerald jetpack. So this one we need to make the advanced coil, which obviously we haven't made as yet. So this is why Najoma said you need gold. Again, we should have everything there. So we'll make the advanced coil. We're going to need these ones, so not being funny, I'm going to make them ahead of time. And again, we can teach all of these to the tablet, so we will. I'm going to just grab a stack of each because I have the EMC for it. Just speed things up that ever so slightly. Now we wanted the iron battery or iron energy cell. So again, rinse and repeat. Shove it in the tablet. Grab 3 of them. And then we're making the iron capacitor, which I keep losing sight of. Why is that on fire? Excuse you. I don't know why that burst into flames. Just shove that over there out of the way. Right, so we are making, like I said, the iron capacitor. When I can find it, it's there. Did I? Yes, I did. just want to check the batteries. Again, I'm still suffering a bit from insomnia brain, so you'll just have to bear with me if I do stupid things or forget things. So we need the iron capacitor. We now need to make the iron thrusters, which again means another cell. I'm being observed. So iron thruster. Grab one of them, shove it into the tablet, grab 2 thrusters, make the iron jetpack, and again, you could have upgraded it from the copper or the stone. I'm upgrading from the copper. So 250,000 now jumps up to 800,000 energy. So I'm just going to double check that I had taught everything. So that's the iron jetpack. Aptly named because that is what the mod is called, iron jetpacks. And then this one, we're going to go to gold, which requires more of these advanced coils, which is quite handy. So that's the one that we want. Again, we're shoving it into the tablet. We're going to need, I think it's 4. Oh, I've already got them there, haven't I? Pulled a stack out. Forgetting already. So, gold capacitor. As you can see, it's going, no, you're missing items. That's what I meant by if you were missing anything, it doesn't light up, and if you mouse over it, it actually highlights what you're missing, which is one of the things that I really love about that. So we want the cell. We want 3 of the gold ones. Surround it with gold to get the gold capacitor. And to make the gold thruster, again, we've got everything there. I remembered to get the extra gold cell. So grab that. Again, we'll shove these 2 things into the tablet. Bit of a pause there for a second. We need, obviously, 2 of the thrusters. We need the capacitor, the gold one. Again, this iron jetpack has 800,000. We are going to be using that to make the gold jetpack, which is 10 million FE. That's the energy for powering it. Take it out. Shove it back in. And then we're going to be making the next one to this. So the gold one, obviously we're going down to the diamond jetpack. This is obviously now going to take the elite coils, which we should have a stack of. We're obviously making the energy cell, which we don't have. Again, shove that in. Get the cell, which we need 3 of. Put that in, surround it with diamonds, and it'll give us the capacitor. Shove the capacitor into the tablet. We want the thruster, so we're going to need another cell. Should have thought ahead. But like I said, insomnia brain. So 1 thruster, again, we've got everything that we need. Again, shove that into the tablet. And then we'll make the diamond jetpack. Now you see, 10 million, now to 30 million energy that you can store in it. So that quite often, I think most people normally stick with that for quite a while. But again, what I don't like about it is, like I said, is that you don't hover and stay stationary when you're using, I think it's anything below the emerald jetpack. You kind of ever so slightly drift down. So Just grab it out because we're going to go straight to the emerald, because obviously the emerald one, you don't drift at all. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're making the cells, which we've got the ultimate coil that we made. It takes emeralds, so it is quite expensive if you don't have access to emeralds. Grab myself 4 of them because I'm not going to make that mistake again. We are making the capacitor. And we are making the thruster. I can hear music. Probably the Minecraft music just kicking in. Then you grab the thruster. Oh, it's because it's sundown. Oh, we need another thruster. Helps if I grab 2, doesn't it? And again, emerald jetpack. You can see diamond 30. Yep, 30. If there's platinum in it, you could have 36, so you could have a little bit more. And it upgrades it from 30 to 48 million energy. So there's not a massive leap in it, but ultimately it's down to your own choice. So I don't need any of these things anymore, so I'm going to shove them all in my tablet. I'm going to shove obviously the emerald jetpack in to the tablet as well. More than anything, for whatever reason, if I die and I need to get one again, or I lose it, or whatever reason it could possibly be, I want to make sure that I've got it. Again, if you press shift while hovering over it, it'll tell you the information: vertical speed, acceleration, horizontal, hover speed, hover ascent, descent, sprint modifier, blah, 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 blah. And it also gives you an extra +4 to armor. Now, you've got to charge it. You could kind of put it in some of the machines to charge it, but it would take a little while. So I'm going to do the good old induction cube. So shove it in, instantly filled to maximum. Because I am producing absolutely tons of energy. Right, so then it can be equipped in a curio slot. I'm not sure which one it can be equipped in. Right, let's put it in the magnet. I'm sure that can go somewhere else. I'm convinced of it. Or have they changed it? Okay, where can this one go then? Yep. This should be able to go somewhere. There we go, I'll go there. Because you used to be able to put it on the body slot. Because that won't go anywhere else, will it? No. Okay. Not fussed. I think if I didn't have my backpack on me, you would see the jetpack. I think I can hide toggle the visibility. You see, there's the jetpack, fully charged. You've got fuel gauge on the back, so you can see how much power it's got. I actually prefer to see my backpack, because otherwise I'll be panicking, thinking, oh my god, what have I done to my backpack? Now, I need to change my keybind to my jetpack. So if I go, I think category, and go iron jetpacks. I'm not going to decrease the throttle, so I'm actually going to unbind that. I'm going to unbind that one. Engine toggle. I don't want V. What's that bound? Open guide for items. F's not bound. Hover mode H, what's that? This keys are used for toggle HUD position. I don't think it's actually used for anything. Oh, it is. Let's have a look then. That's great. And jetpack. What do I want it set as then? So I think I'm there. F is switch on. I don't want it on that one, I don't think, because that shows recipe and it's got a bunch of things other tied to it. T? What's that used for? It's used for drop. God. Cycle trades, not that one. Toggle HUD position. I'm going to find that keybind and I'm going to get rid of it. Toggle hover mode. It's here somewhere. Honda, no. I'll take. Hit the wrong button. So that one, go away. Combine that one as well. And the hotbar swap. What was it? H, weren't it? I'm actually going to unbind all of them for now, I think. Yeah. So if I now hit H, hover is switched on. Obviously if I jump, nothing's going to happen at all because the engine's not on, which I've set as F. Now if I jump up, you'll see I am not drifting down slightly at all. I am not moving. As you can see, I've got little engine particles that come out. You can hear the engine going ever so slightly. There's a bit of drift with it, but you go so much faster than using the everlasting abilities. So if I just switch that off, turn hover off so it's all switched off. Everlasting abilities, you only go creative speed, which it's not bad, but it's not great. If I then switch that off, switch the engine back on, and use this, you go so much quicker. And when I say so much quicker, I mean lightning fast. It means getting about is so much easier. It's absolutely fantastic. What I will do though is I'll probably keep that for now. The everlasting ability. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove it in the bottle. So flight into the bottle means I get the XP that the 30 levels. It means that I can no longer do the double jump and fly. I am now relying on the good old jetpack, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, you can just hit F to switch it off and you won't hover anymore again. More than anything, you just need to remember to switch your engine on and off. Right, so that was one thing that we wanted to get done. Next thing that we're going to get done, or make the attempt to try and get done, is this place. So, as you can see, we'd moved some of the bits last time. We just set the filters on all of these, so they'll do everything that they need to do. We'd got the two smelters in position. Like I said, we're going to try XNet with it. It might work, it might not work, I don't know. I'm going to have to take one of these blocks out because I need to get access to at least one of them, because we're going to be using the, I think it's the storage drawer controller that we made for these over here. So, like with these, it's like if I just grab some random things out of here, you can see I've got them. If I double click on the storage controller, they disappear at my inventory and automatically get put in there. So again, if I grab a couple of sacks of the copper, if you look at the number 13.6k, double click it in the compacting drawer, you can see it's just put all those back in. It means that basically anything that interacts with that, be that put something in or take something out, we'll be able to control from one little area. God. There must have been an update to it because it never used to be this foggy. One of the mods that I've got in is, it's supposed to improve effects. And I don't remember it being that foggy. So, storage controller. Let's have a look. I think I've got one here. We do have. So, the recipe for that was stone, redstone comparators, diamond, one of the storage drawer boxes. Again, you need to make sure you make the right one because we do have storage drawers. We have the other mod, which I'm not sure what that one's called. Brain, no worky. Functional storage. So we have both types on there. Both recipes for them seem to be pretty much identical, but you obviously can use the tweak to go and say, no, I don't want that one, I want the other mods one, but you can obviously swap and change. So that's now in place. So anything that we connect to that for taking and putting back in, I'm thinking I'm going to move that. I need to put the magnet back on. And I think I'm just going to stick the sink literally there. And we'll get rid of that pipe because we don't need that one anymore. So again, we'll shove that into that. So what we need is, obviously we need access to these depots because we're extracting from there. We need access to the basins for putting in and potentially taking out. Is it going to be taken out? No, I think it's primarily going to be putting in. We've got the millstone there that obviously we do want for putting in and taking out because we're going to be putting wheat and stuff like that in there. So probably the next thing we want to do is actually grab the pot or pot. So I'm going to shove that there because I want access underneath because I'm going to be obviously doing the wiring from underneath. So we'll just quickly grab these. Go on, fall down. Definitely a lot of birds tweeting. So, oh! I think that's just me that got bumped out. It was. It did place it. And Najoma just fell from a high place. Did you forget to repower your jetpack? I think I had this error happen before with moving botany parts. For some reason, no, it kicked me in flight. Okay. So now some of these botany pots can be a bit funny if you place them using the carry mod. Don't know why. Again, not a big deal. Just means that you have to break them and place them that way. Let's have a look. I'm going to be having the cable go up there. And again, that'll just start growing the buds for me. So, obviously, as always, on the hour every hour, do take a couple of minutes break. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. As always, this is where I do run 3 minutes of adverts. It is a unfortunate bane that, you know, I do like to stop the pre-roll adverts for anybody that's watching. So that is primarily the main reason why I run them. So, as always, adverts are not guaranteed. It is down to region availability. So if you do get adverts, stretch your legs, get yourself a drink. If you don't, you're lucky. But we're kidding. You probably are going to get adverts. Obviously, if you are watching this on YouTube, I do apologise. I have zero control over adverts over there. So sorry about that. But as always, like I said, adverts, they aren't guaranteed. It is down to region availability. So like I said, if you do get adverts, stretch your legs, get yourself a drink, get a cookie. And if you don't, sit back, enjoy the music, and I'll be right back. As always, helps if I unmute my mic, and we are back. Right, so, like I said, we're going to attempt this VX now. I'm hoping it's going to work for us. One thing I am going to have to do is make myself a power plug for it so that we can power it. I'm just not sure whether I have enough of the bits for it. Oh, I do. Flux dust. Very good stuff. I'm going to grab some more anyway and show you how it's done because I don't believe I showed it on stream. So, flux dust. Grab a sack of redstone because you're going to need a ton of it. And then you've got to go down to bedrock. So down the original mine, where it all began. And then of course we have the absolutely massive cavern that is down here. This is the wither killing cage for spawning withers and dying horribly. Or trying not to die horribly. I've kind of put some vines there when I needed them. I don't particularly need them anymore, so I am actually going to get rid of them because obviously we do have the jetpack now for getting around. But anyway, distraction. So like I said, you've got to go all the way down to bedrock to make flux dust. Some minables down here. So when you get all the way down here, you need to switch off your magnet so you don't pick it up. You need a block of an obsidian. You grab your dust, you chuck it so it's underneath it, and then you left click the obsidian. There's a chance that the obsidian will be turned into gravel or cobblestone. I think it's the two. It might just be cobblestone. And you end up with a stack of flux dust. That does not have a EMC value, so you do need to make it and keep hold of it. And then we need to go bobbling all the way back up to the top. The next thing that's always very, very important is normally you would be able to kill lots and lots of endermen so you can get the next bit for it. I'm going to sleep through the night. One, to get rid of the rain, but also to get rid of the night. I wish it always remembered where it took it from. And one of my goats has got out again. That's what they keep doing. It's bloody annoying. That's why I need to get the farm building built. Kind of the plan of hoping to get that done as well tonight. Obviously, it might not do. It depends on how much time that we have. So, I know we're going to need, I think, let's just double check this. So, flux dust. First thing you need to do is make one of these flux cores. So you need obsidian and iron ender. Iron ender is made by a ender pearl and some blaze powder. Which is, where is it? There we go. Again, if you've got mystical agriculture, you can make them via the essences of them, and it'll get you 3. Getting the ender pearl in the first place sometimes can be a problem. It took me forever to get one to drop from an enderman when I first started. Blaze powder, dead easy. You just get a blaze rod, shove it in a crafting grid, and it'll break it into, I think it's 2 blaze powders. Yeah. And then it's literally just combining stuff. But as we have those in the tablet, we know we need an iron ender. We know we need some obsidian. So we shall make the little flux cores first. Right, and then we want, I believe, it's this one, provides energy to adjacent blocks actively, removing energy from your flux network. So I was right, we do need a block of redstone. Don't need any more obsidian, thankfully. So again, we shall just make them. Just double checking I'm getting the right one. And that gets us the flux point. I can stick the powder in this chest here, out of the way. Now, how these work, I'm going to switch my jetpack on, if I can remember what the keybind was. It shall take you all the way up. Oh, that's it. Need my jetpack off for this. So, on here, you see I have a bunch of plugs. That is power going in, which each is a flux point. These are flux plugs. Sorry, no. These are flux plugs. They're the ones that are putting energy into it. So... now I'm getting that wrong, aren't I? The flux point is one that's putting energy into it. The flux plugs are taking energy out of. So that one there is power in. So power that's being created in the base and is basically being dumped straight into the cube via that point. These are providing power from the solar panels. I've just got the universal cable. May as well just do a quick run and show you. So, as you can see, this is the main gas burning generator. It's got a flux plug on top, which is taking energy from the gas burning generator, putting it into the flux network, which I don't actually have a main flux network set up. So what it's doing is it's putting it in there and dumping it straight away into the yellow flux point, which is transferring it into there. I have a public power node, which has a limit set to it, which anybody on the server, if they make a flux plug, they will see that because it's not a private network. And then we have the power out node, which is providing power to pretty much anything else that I want it to. At the moment, I think the most it's providing power to is this slot over here, which, as you can see, there's a little node there that's powering this cable that's powering all these machines. All of these will end up in my main base when I build it. Currently, I haven't. So, we need to set up power for what's going to be a little... I'm just trying to work out what that were then. Just remember, Najoma's down there, isn't he? Surveyor. Oh, God. Wine and some bread for dinner. I'm not saying anything. Right, so anyway. God. So, like I said, I'm going to be trying to use an Xnet in here. So I need to power that. That's what, obviously, this node is going to be used for. So I'm just going to temporarily set it there so I can set the settings for it. Network selection. I just literally have to select power out. I'm going to turn the power surge on and the bypass limit so it's got no limitation to the power that's going to go through it. I now need to start building XNAT. So, things we're going to need. We're going to need the controller. We're going to need... I'm going to use advanced connectors and we're going to need green network cabling. Now, like I said, XNet has changed a little bit since we did it last. They've made it a bit more stricter, it seems, because it used to be that you could put a connector on any side. You didn't have to set whether it was north, east, south, west, and it just worked. They've now made it so you actually have to make it set to a direction. So first things first, controller. We need to make these different redstone repeaters, a comparator. Well, we've got them already in the tablet. If you're looking for the recipe for them, this is the bog standard Minecraft recipe. Redstone torch, which is just a piece of redstone and a stick, some stone, some more redstone. That'll give you one of the redstone repeaters. Or you can make it literally just straight out the box without making them in between. The in-between stage, I should say. Redstone comparator requires quartz. Again, it means travelling to the nether for that. I've already gone to the nether. I think you saw that in probably the last stream. Maybe, kinda. We've got to make a machine frame, which again, I've made that because we made it for the crafter. This thing here, which is basically turning my different essences, which I probably need to shift some more over at some point. So, we don't want that, we want, what's it called? It's called a machine frame. So, machine frame, we want to make sure we get the right one, because obviously Mystical Agriculture has one as well. They do look very similar. So, we know it's the RF tool base, because again, RF tool base. So, we want the redstone other pieces now. So, one of those, two of those. And what else do we need? We need some redstone, some gold, and some iron. Redstone, gold. Was it 2 bits of iron? Can't remember. Oh, I've got 3. Oh well, never mind. So, make the controller. Shove the controller, because again, as you can see, it's got an EMC value. Make sure we get the right controller. Right, so we can just put that to one side. Well, yeah, we'll put it to one side for a minute. Now, next thing we need to make advanced screen connectors. So that means we need to make the bog standard connector to begin with, which means we obviously need some green dye, 4 of. I have not taught the tablet it, and that's because we need cactus, which I do have. So, green dye, I do believe it's literally just cook 4 pieces. Soon find out. And it is. That gets us the green dye. Again, I'm going to shove it in the tablet, or at least 1 piece into it, so we've got it. Right, so green controller. We're going to need a chest of some sort, 3 pieces of redstone, and a gold bar. Again, a chest, dead easy to make. I'm going to do it here because why not? Again, turn wood into planks. Leave a gap in the middle, gets an oak chest. Again, you can shove that into the tablet. Because I crafted it on this crafting station, you don't get the alternate ones. So it's like if I went to my crafting grid that's in my backpack and crafted it and went like that. Oh, don't you get it anymore? I thought you did. I thought pickle tweaks worked on that one. Let's just have a look. I'm intrigued now. Bog standard crafting thing. Yeah, it's only showing the one. some reason I thought you could make the other one. Oh well, never mind. Oh, I ain't got my magnet on, have I? I was like, why don't you go in my inventory? Right, so another chest, anyway. Get rid of that. So, bog standard green connector, which, as you can see, everything's there. That's got us the green connector. Again, I'm going to shove that straight into the tablet, pull it straight back out, and we're making the advanced green connector. So with that, we need an ender pearl, diamond, and redstone. So redstone, diamond, and we need a ender pearl, which we will pull out of the tablet. And again, you can just double check everything's there. That's got us the advanced green connector. Let's see if I can spell. Right, I'm going to actually grab a stack of those because I don't know how many I'm going to need. Next thing we need to make is the green network cable. Again, if you had any of the other type of cable, which I don't, you can just use green dye on it to get one. But as you can see here, I need string, 3 of the redstone, we need another piece of green dye, and a gold nugget. Well, the gold nugget's easy enough to get. We can grab one from there. We need that. We needed string. And we wanted the green dye. Now that should be everything. It'll get us a full stack of 16, which I'm going to grab. I'm going to shove into the tablet. And I'm going to grab a couple of stacks of that because I have that sneaky feeling we're probably going to need more than what we've got. Yeah, so let's do it like that. Right, I then need to stick the Ethernet controller. Hopefully this will all work. Like I said, they have done some changes to Ethernet and have made it a little bit confusing. Right, controller. I need to decide where it's going to be its permanent home. Where do I want to put it? You know what? I think I'm going to put it there. I'll put that back in before I go. Why is there a hole in the wall? Oh, I thought it'd vanish there. So that's connected. As you can see, it's powered it to maximum. Right, so we need a connector. Sticking one there, it'll connect to the draw controller and it'll connect to the Ethernet controller. If you click on there, you can see it's showing both of the devices that are connected to it. It's telling you that one's down, that one's south. So I then need to connect. Can we not connect advanced connectors to these anymore? Ah, that is something that I was not aware of. Right, how am I going to do this then? I need a second to think how I'm going to do this, because these used to connect to them. Yeah, I suppose I could do hoppers. Kinda didn't want to do hoppers if I could help it. I'm just going to get that storm out the way because I don't want to be hearing the lightning going off every couple of seconds. Again, if it's raining, you can sleep through the night, or sleep. It doesn't always sleep you through the night and it will literally stop it. I think for now, I think I'm going to do hoppers. I think we have hoppers in here. Yeah, we do. So recipe for those, chest, a bit of iron, will get you a hopper. I think it's 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'll do is I'll take those out. Actually, I probably wanted to leave those bits in first because I want to give the hoppers a direction to where they're going to empty. So if you face down, they'll empty down. If I'd have clicked against the wall, it would have made the hopper try and empty into the wall, which obviously we don't want. Right, let's see if these will connect. They should do, which they do. So you just got to connect them all up. Take that out. I'm going to stick some cable in. Right, so I'm going to do it in stages because otherwise it will get pretty confusing. So as you can see, the hopper's full of potatoes. There's still a load of potatoes in there. It is connected to the draw controller. We know the draw controller will, for potatoes, will accept potatoes, poisonous potatoes, and it'll avoid any overflow. So, XNet. What we're saying is we need to make a channel type. So in here you have chemical, which is for chemicals, but primarily it seems to be more for mechanism. You have energy, you have logic, you have chemical logic, you have item, fluid, and then it goes back to the beginning. Obviously we want it as items, so you create it. That's giving us a new channel, channel 1. As you can see, this is now using energy. So I always go find your draw controller first, but in this situation I'm going to switch it off initially. So what we want to do is go in here. I'm going to grab a piece of wheat and some seeds. I'm going to do, helps if I actually had to pick the hopper. And I'm just going to take one of each item from the hoppers. Like so. So back to the XNet controller. If we want to know which one that is, if we double click it, it will flash. So we know that one is the potato one. Potato. So in there, we then need to create a input or an output. In this case, we are going as we're going to be extracting from that hopper. And we are going to be extracting potatoes. Now, as you see, that says down, so that needs to be now up. In the past, you didn't actually have to set that. You could just left it at whatever it was and it would work. It doesn't work like that anymore. You actually have to set it. Gun tote to extract to stack. Number of ticks for each operation. Could leave it on 10. Could reduce it again because they are the advanced ones. If it was just a normal bog standard connector, it is fixed at 1. You can tell it to extract from the first slot, random, order. I kind of tend to, if it's got something that has an inventory like that, I tend to do an order. So that is extracting potatoes. Now you've got to tell it where to put it. Well, the draw controller, you've got to create a channel. Now you see, this is saying down. So again, we've got to tell it to go up. We're telling it to insert. And we're going to shove potato. Now, if we switch this on, in theory, it should take what potatoes are in here and shove them into the draw controller. Let's see if it's going to do it, or whether I need to change anything. Right, as you can see, it's flickering because it is extracting. Right, we didn't do poison potato because I didn't have one. So I'm going to grab a poison potato and literally onto the controller, you're extracting poison potato, you're inserting poison potato, and then over here, you see it's gone. The actual botany pot is empty. And it will just put them in here. Any excess, it'll void. I am going to stick the poison potato in there because we're not actually using them for anything at the moment. And that will just merrily keep extracting to itself. So, next part. Again, double click it so you can find out which one it is. This one is tomatoes. You can see we've got the tomatoes there. So in here, again, you're creating. I'm going to switch it off again. We want it to extract, up, stack. I'm going to tell it order, and we want it to do, just put all the items that comes from that into there. I'm going to move potato out of the way because we've done with potato. I'm going to stop saying that. Right, and then in here, put them in. It's already set to up. So all you're doing is you're setting the filters for all the different bits. Switch it back on. And in here, you can see it's flickering, so it's doing the job. You've made me something. I fear to think what you've made me. Magic sights. When equipped, grants night vision. Do you want to know something? I have been trying to get night vision in everlasting abilities for forever, and I have not been able to get it, so I really do appreciate that. I'm gonna tap it. I was trying to do the good old school way of trying to brute force it a bit. Didn't work. There, that's better. It's made it proper bright, so you can actually see what the hell is going on. So, next one, I'm going to assume it's the one next to it, which it is, which is onions. So again, create. We want to be extracting onions, stack. I'm going to tell it order. And then, of course, insert onions. And this should be, again, emptying them. Which is brilliant. I'm going to assume the next one is going to be cabbage. I could be completely and utterly wrong. So create. So we're going to go cabbage seeds. It doesn't matter if you have it on insert. If you just click extract, it'll just change it. Stack. Again, we're doing that. Insert cabbage seeds. Double check on it just to make sure it is doing its thing, which it is. The pot is empty, and then obviously we have literally just the wheat and the seeds. Create it. Wheat, seeds, extract. Again, make sure that is facing up, because that's the way, because how you've got to think of it is that is facing up. And so that's why you need to make sure that is up. Stack, order, insert, wheat and the seeds. And again, didn't there? You're right, it didn't. Oh well. I know it can be a bit temperamental then. Because when I tried to do it earlier, I think if we'd have had a server reset, I think it would have thrown a wobbler at that point. So, I don't know. That was cabbage. Well, I don't need seeds. That was tomato. I don't need tomato seeds. I don't need that. I don't need that. All the others I do need. I might have to have a bit more of a test in my test world, see if they've changed it back, because I know a lot of people are not happy about that, because it was, not being funny, quite painful. Right. How do I want to do this? You know what? I'm going to move that power from there. I'm going to put that there. So that's still getting power, which is what we want. I'm going to take that bit of cable out there. And I'm going to stick that connection to there. Reason being is these two furnaces are going to need power. So, upper level, because these are the ones that I want to connect next. Now, normally, well, you can do input and output out of the same thing. I found that sometimes machines get a bit stuck with XNet when you do that. So I'm going to stick a connector underneath, and I'm going to stick one on the side. I'll stick a bit of cable in underneath so that they're all connected. Right, I do not want that one connecting there. So if you right click it and go, right, the way I'm facing is west, that way is north. I don't want that one connecting north. So if I click on it, it'll remove the connection. So they are connected there. Obviously the XNet cannot see it because there's no cable to it. So what I'm going to do also while I'm here is I'm going to put another one on there because I want to be able to extract water from the sink. And I'm literally just going to run some cabling around the edge there. In here is going to be having the wheat. So I am actually going to stick a connector on there as well. I'm going to then stick some cable so they're connected. Again, I'm not going to connect anything else. I'm going to do it in stages so you can see. So what I'm going to need is I am going to need a wheat seed. Because when you process the wheat to get the... We're missing a box. I still need another box. So let's get ourselves another drawer. I thought I was missing a drawer when I was looking at it last time. I'm going to set that up without putting it on there because, again, with XNet, sometimes it can be pumping stuff around that quickly that sometimes, because the controller can be a bit funny, it will literally just shove the item in there that you actually don't want to do. So I'm going to grab, like I said, I've got a seed. I'm going to grab a piece of wheat. I'm going to drop this in the top here. So we've got the flour. Grab my two keys so I can lock it, show how much is actually in it. I'm also going to get a upgrade for it. No, I don't. I want a fill indicator. So it's got the little bar there. And then I'm going to move it and I'm going to shove it up there. So I need to connect that one there as well so I know exactly what I'm doing. So we want grab a two connectors again. So that one's the one that's full of water. So we'll stick another connector on there. I am going to let it connect to the depot as well because that's what I want it to do. But again, just so I don't overcomplicate things too much, or try not to, just going to move those bits out of the way. Right, so on here, as you can see, I've not wired any of the other ones in, so they are still not showing. So you obviously need to cable them up. How should I bring it through? I'm going to need the cable, otherwise I'm not going to be doing anything. I don't want to connect those yet. Otherwise I'm going to be sat there going, right, I'm just putting those there temporarily. I'm going to take that piece back out. Right, they are connected, so in theory, the XNet controller should be able to see them. Which, as you can see, it now can. Right, so we're going to want water from out the sink being put into this basin here. It's the only basin that's connected so far, so we need to make a new channel. And we want it to be fluid. I'm not going to have it on round, well, yeah, let's have it on round robin. So there, you're creating, it's already done up. You want it to extract. You want it to insert. See, it's already set these to down. Don't know why it doesn't do it automatically for these ones, but for whatever reason, it doesn't. So if we go back up here, it's already filled with water. If I was to, I don't know, grab some buckets, and empty it out, see, it's filling it automatically. And it will just keep filling it forever and a day. Right, next thing that we want is onto the controller. We want to be, oh, that controller actually needs another connector to it. I'm going to put it there. So that goes there. And we need that other connection. Again, we don't need that one there though. So why did we need the other connection? Because we want to be extracting from the network and putting into another place. It's like, yes, we could use it, but I like to separate it. Just because you can sometimes find that it can, again, be a little bit buggy about it. So I'm going to switch it off initially. So in this one, that's in that channel, so that's the water channel. Again, I do like to try and separate my inputs and I think of this more as in the initial sort of input output for some of your very beginning parts of the craft, and then your next one is kind of like distributing to the next level of crafting, if you like. So anyway, we know we need to be extracting wheat from there. So we still have wheat, so we are extracting, or we will be, extracting wheat from there, and we want it to put it into the millstone. So in there, we are inserting the wheat. I'm going to tell it to extract a stack. Again, leave it on first, it doesn't need to be changed. I'm going to change these, like I said I was going to do, to up. That one we know is up as well. And then when we switch this on, hopefully, Yeah, you can ever so slightly hear it. As you can see, it has started grinding the wheat flour. And it will just keep going until this can produce no more. So obviously we need to then extract the wheat and the wheat seeds from it. And I'm going to do it on this other channel because it's not being used for anything at the moment. So in here, I'm going to switch it off for the moment. We are creating an extraction. I think you can leave it on first. I don't think it makes any difference. So we are extracting from there. We are extracting the seeds. We also want to be extracting the flour, which I should have grabbed this back out of there. And the flour, like I was saying. And obviously we've already got the seeds being inserted, so all we need to do is add the flour to there. Switch it on, and if we go up here, it should, as you can see, it's already added a bunch of flour to it automatically. This thing here should literally just be going, crafting them and exporting, crafting and exporting. Can hear music again. It was like, where's that coming from? I'm going to increase the speed of it, though, because I want it to do it a lot quicker. Ultimately, I'm quite happy for its back stuff. So as you can see, that is now literally, it's pulling the wheat flour and the seeds pretty much instantly as they're being made now. Right, next thing. We've set up the extracts on here. So I need to grab myself some more wheat flour again. Just the one, Miss Wembley. Right, so what we now want to do is we want to extract from the controller door the wheat flour. But before I do that, I'm going to tell it to put it into the basin. I'm going to put it obviously on this channel here because it's already got an insert for the water. So in here, we are inserting wheat flour. Going to set that up. It's extracting the wheat flour. And what we should be hearing is this will make one and eject it. Right. We ended up with some good old wheat in there, which it shouldn't have done. So if I take that off there, you'll see it'll make it, it'll eject it. So we need to get this dough out of there and back into this controller. So where is it? We're going to extract it on channel 1. So I'm going to switch it off a moment. We're going to extract. No, we don't want it on that one. Again, if you make a mistake, click the exit or remove it. It's the depot that we want. So in there, create, set to east, extract the dough, and we want it to extract as much as possible. There's only one slot on it, if you like. And again, we want it to insert the dough into the controller. I then switch this back on. You literally should see it . And that will just keep going forever and a day. And so it's making dough and shoving it into here. Again, if you just watch it, you'll see it every so often, it'll go up. And again, we want that kind of to back stuff. I think the only things that we don't particularly want to back stuff is the growing pots. Main reason being is if they have a second output, you don't want it ending up with it full of seeds, nowhere to put the seeds, so it stops producing wheat. That's the reason why these have voids on it and these don't. So, next stage. Perhaps if I grab myself a piece of dough, don't I? So obviously we're making dough. What we're going to do with it? Well, we're going to make one of these smelters cook the dough. So again, we're going to be extracting out of the draw controller and we're going to put it into one of these furnaces. Let's have a look. Which one's that? That is the closest one. I want it actually to be the furthest one away, which is that one, I believe. Yeah. So that one, we're going to be inserting dough. Should have probably switched that off. It's probably put something in it. And we are going to be extracting dough from there. Now, let's have a look, see what it's done. Theory, maybe nothing, because I don't think I've set this as input. No, I haven't. Right, so I need to then set, obviously, which direction it's coming from. So, input, we're doing it from the, or we're shoving it in from the bottom, the dough. So, you need to go back to your mechanism machine. Click on it, go on side configuration. The bottom is the input, so we tell that is red by just clicking on it as red. So by default, the output is going to be right. So double click it, put it on auto eject. And in theory, we should start getting dough in here, but it's not. So why are you not accepting dough? Might be because it was placed before I'd set the configuration, or have I not done it here? The dough is extracting. It's inserting into there, or should be, but it's not. See, this is the weird thing that you sometimes get with this. So, I'm going to break the machine, replace it. And it's still not putting it in. Why are you not putting it in? Oh, because that's power. No, it isn't. That's items. Input from the bottom, export to the right. So insert up the dough, extract the dough. Actually, I'm going to move that to the other connector, which was the whole reason why I did it. So remove that one there. That one's going from the north. I'm going to increase its how many times it can do the operation. See if that's got it. Okay, why is that not then transferring it? Input, output. Again, we will just double check that. there's not an issue. So we'll go like that. Go like that. Definitely some weird... God, why is that showing as broken? Turn that off. We're not having that one going into the north one. Definite input, output right. Doesn't have to be powered, does it? For it to accept input. So controller extracting on north. So extracting the wheat dough. Rather than put it back in here, I'm going to switch it off a second. Create wheat dough. Up. Switch it back on. For some reason it's not accepting it. It might be because it's not got power. So let's get power into the machine anyway. So again, click through it until you get energy, create, which is yellow. Now you can see it's got the flux point. We're going to create it. We're going to take to extract from the flux point. Again, doesn't particularly matter which one you put it into. Create, insert. It's already got it there. I'm going to do the same for the other machine, so they're both working in theory. Let's see if it's at least got power. And it doesn't. Did I forget to switch that channel back on? I think I did. That's on. That's on, that's on, that's on. So that's extracting power, yeah. Extract, insert, insert. So why are you not extracting and inserting? That's got no power either. Down, north. Up, yeah, that's all connected. Okay, I'm a bit confused by this because this should be working. Because that is south. Yeah, it already sees the side. Redstone's ignored. Extracting north. It's inserting down. Inserting down. It's automatically... have to change that to up. Is that what it didn't like? Well, no, neither of them have got power. I can see that just by hovering over them. See, this is the problem that I was running into with XNet, and I don't know why. So extracting power from the flux point. I'm just going to double check that I had set the flux point. I should have done, but well, it should be because it is powering that. It is actually extracting power, but I'm assuming that is just extracting and putting into there. That's connected on the north. I'm confused. I'm really, really confused by that. I don't understand why it's not working. What am I doing? Everything's down there. So, that one, create. You're extracting. Let's tell you to put it into that one. Inserting. Yeah, that is receiving power. Oh. Right, so I've told it power. You know what? I'm just going to tell it to accept power from all directions. Input, output, power. Right, that is definitely powered. That's not receiving the wheat dough. Why are you not receiving wheat dough? Have they changed this again? I'm going to tell that to... Alright, hang on. It's extracting from north. I'm going to tell it to... I'm going to change it to down on these. Because I'm wondering if they've changed it so now that is where you tell it to go. So that is the extraction. So we're extracting south. We are inserting, I'm going to change that to down. I suppose it could be that it's prioritizing putting it in here before putting it in here, because I haven't set a priority. So let's have a look. So let's have a look. So extract the dough, insert with a priority. I don't know if it's 1 or -1, so we'll have a play and see. There's nothing gone in that one yet. We'll try it as a -1. If that makes any difference. Absolutely none at all. It's definitely switched on. Definitely told to extract. Let's try that on Robin, see if that makes any difference. Nope. Ooh, problem solving. Problem solving. I'm not blacklisting, I'm not stack matching, I don't need to do any of that. It's inserting in down. Extracting south. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, because that's filled up. So this should soon stop. But it's not. So where are they going? Because there isn't... Ah, right here, isn't it? Of course. Duh. So that's going to take a little while to do that. So what I'm going to do is, as always on the hour every hour, do take a couple of minutes break. It is gone 4 minutes past. So what I'm going to do is, as always, run 3 minutes of adverts, disable pre-roll over here on Twitch. Again, if you are watching it on YouTube, I do apologise. I have zero control over adverts over there. But as always, adverts are not guaranteed. It's down to region availability. So if you do get adverts, stretch your legs, get yourself a drink or a bicky. If you don't, sit back, enjoy the music, and I'll be right back. Right, and we're back. I was using the wrong machine. I was going on this one and going, why isn't it inputting? It's because it was this machine it should have been inputting to. So it was all set right. It was just me being an absolute idiot. Always helps if you're on the right machine for the right job. Anyway, so as we know, this one is now getting the wheat as it should have been doing. In here, we are going to be creating another channel. I'm going to pause that one just for the moment. We're going to be doing it from the north. We're going to be extracting. We're going to be extracting bread, stacks. It only has one slot, but I might upgrade it. So I'm going to change it to order. And then we want it obviously to insert into the draw controller the bread. Switch it on. Let's go have a look. See if it's actually moving bread. It is. It has done. I can see because that's already gone up from 2. This is running pretty slow at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some upgrades. Grab some energy and some speed upgrades, 8 of each. Doesn't need to go any faster than that. Hit the upgrade button, put power in first because otherwise the machine will lock. And you can see it's making the bread and it's chucking it straight out, which is exactly what we wanted it to be doing. Which we would have been doing if I'd have actually had a look to make sure it was doing the right machine. And this will just keep going merrily away to itself like so. Right. No need to make the vegetarian burger patties. So, recipe for that is potato, onion and wheat. I believe that's the recipe that we went for. That is going to be going into this next cauldron here. So then we're just going to take that cable out and put the advanced connector onto that one. And it will automatically update it to here. As you can see, we can now see this basin here. We're not having water go into it because we don't need it. I'm going to switch that channel on a moment. And in this basin here, we're going to create and we're going to put the input. The input, I need to grab a piece of wheat. I was carrying a piece of wheat for ages and forgot what I needed it for. I think we're going to run out of wheat at this stage as well soon. So in there, inputting wheat, onion and potato. That will get us the raw vegetarian patty. Actually, I wanted it in that one there. I'll do that. No, we did want it in that one. I'll get it right in a minute. So, we've already got wheat being extracted, potato and onion. So if we then switch this channel back on, in theory, what should happen? Oh, you've changed your armour. So what should be happening now, hopefully, as long as I haven't buggered it up, which I'm going to take everything out of there. So why aren't you doing anything? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Oh, because it's already made a patty and extracted it. I'll stick that wheat back in there. Right, so it did it that quick, it did it quicker than I could get up there. So again, we're wanting this depot here that we connected, the freshly new one. I'm going to switch it off again. Going to extract the raw vegetarian patty. We're going to insert that into the draw controller. Switch it on and let's go have a look. this should now be constantly making the vegetarian patties, and it will just keep going. The reason why that one's constantly taking it up and down is because it runs out of water, and then it has to refill it, and it goes again. So this is literally just making nothing but the patties. So this machine here, set the inputs, bottom on, right out, auto eject on. Excuse me a second, I'm about to cough. Muted my mic in time. So back onto the draw controller, we then have this energized smelter. We're going to be making another channel in there. Again, I'm going to just switch off the channel so it doesn't do anything for a moment. So in there, we are inputting a raw vegetarian patty. We are going to be extracting out of there a raw vegetarian patty. When we switch it on, hopefully this other one will kick into gear and actually start cooking them. And it's not. Why aren't you? I'm going to switch power all on that one. Now again, sometimes I found, like I said, you have to break the machines and replace them. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes you have to actually break the connectors. So I'm just going to double check. Input from the bottom, output to the right. Drop back down here. Check this. So, where is it? Just make sure it's the right one. That is the right one. So we are inputting down. No, that's the wrong one. That's the one that we want. So we are inputting. It's switched on. The raw vegetarian patty. It's not doing anything yet. We are extracting the raw vegetarian patty. So it should be putting it in there. It's not for whatever reason. I thought it was north, but it seems to work if you say it's south as well. So I'm confused by it. So I'm going to work on with it. It might be the connectors. Because when you put down mechanism machines, they don't connect first time. And so you have to quite often bugger about with them. I'm going to switch that off again. You are inputting that. Like that. You're already set to extract. Let's see if you do anything. Yeah, it is doing it. Obviously, we've got to reconnect the power to it. So that would be that one, I think. An insert. Yeah. So that machine should now be receiving power. It's cooking the patties. Yeah, I always get that when you first put down mechanism machines, they don't actually set their inputs and outputs. And if you connect these to it straight away, you need to put down your machine first, set the input and outputs, and then attach the connectors. Otherwise, with XNet, for some reason, it just does not like it. I am going to get some more of the upgrades. Powering first. Speed upgrade next. And then we need to extract the patties. So on here, we want that one. Great. I'm going to switch channel off. We're going to extract. the patty. I'm going to tell it stack. I'm going to tell it order. So if we upgrade the machine, it'll extract them in order. Going to put the patty into there. Switch it back on. Hope to Christ that I've done it right. And this should now be extracting the vegetarian patties and doing the thing that it needs to do. And as you can see, they're being put into here. Now, final one here. We need to now set up this next basin. So down we go. We're gonna break the cable there. Put the connector on. So it's connected to the basin and the depot. Now, to make one of these burgers, we need gunite and aroma. You're going to need cabbage, bread, patty and tomato. So we don't need that wheat anymore. That wheat can be lobbed in there. So we need bread, tomato, cabbage, was it onion? Can't remember. Oh, the patty. Yeah. So you need just literally those 4 things. These other bits I'm just going to shove in here and get them out of the way. We don't need these anymore, so there's no point actually carrying them around with us. So these 4 items. So on here we are going to be putting into this new basin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the line again, and in here we're going to say we are putting in bread, cabbage, patty and tomato. And we're going to be extracting out of the network bread, cabbage, patty, tomato. And so that should be extracting out of the drawers, putting into the basin, all of those things, which then should hopefully, I'll switch it back on, the burgers. And it's not. I don't know why. So let's just have a look. Okay, it's not extracting the tomato or the lettuce, it seems. It's doing the bread, it's doing the other bit. So let's just double check this. Extracting. Well, tomatoes there, and so is the cabbage. And it's definitely saying cabbage and tomato. And there is definitely nothing showing on there. Yep, we've definitely only got 1 burger there. So, why are you not extracting? Switch it off and switch it back on. So you're extracting the patties from there, which we've set. Because it extracted the bread, it extracted the patties, it just didn't extract the cabbage or the tomato. For some reason. Why Why are you not extracting those? Not even extracting the wheat out very quickly either. So let's have a quick log. Extract. It's on a fast extract. And it's supposed to be extracting stacks, but it's not. Is there a priority problem? No, because that is full, so it's extracting what it can to put into there to make the dough. Oh, it's made a burger. So I think it's just that the network is really busy at the moment, and so it's doing it as and when it can. Again, I could play with priorities and things like that and make it do things, you know, that little bit quicker, but it is actually doing what we want it to do, funnily enough. So again, I'm just going to pause that channel there. I'm going to put burgers into there. We know that's the only depot that's left, so we're going to type to extract, burgers, stack. It's only got one slot on it. I don't mind it being on a 10. I'm going to actually drop that down to a 10. Because again, I don't think we need that running so quick. I'm just going to make sure that everything that wants to be on a 5, that wants to be, all these others want to be reasonably slow. There's no reason to actually have it any faster. I had it faster initially. I'm going to increase the water speed. And initially had it on faster because I wanted to get the wheat flour made. Right, everything has actually just stopped. Why has everything stopped? It has power. I'm going to put that back to 5. No, I'm going to leave it at 10 because that's what I actually want it to be. I'm going to change all of these to be as it actually says. If that does make any difference. West, 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 down, inserting, down. Oh. No, that's right. That's right. I was looking at it there thinking, is that right? And it is. That's extracting, all right. You're extracting north, you're extracting north. Down, down. Down, south, yeah. Insert south, insert down, down, oh, insert down, insert down, 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 extract. Oh. Switch the channel back on and then it'll start working. That would help. And as you can see, these are all now kicked off. So everything seems to be working now. Working as intended. That's grinding flour again. That's making the dough. That's making the patties. That's making the actual burgers. Everything should literally be coming over here, doing what it needs to do. I'm just getting rid of anything that might be in my inventory. And then literally I can just leave this to do its thing. When it runs out of product, it's waiting for them. As soon as it gets some product, it'll start working on them again. As you can see. And that's my food pretty much automated. And what it will do is, as you leave it, all these things will back stuff and we'll have basically infinite food. The wheat, I could possibly put another botany put down here and have another wheat one in it, where I am kind of tempted to put one there. But I think in the long run, I don't think it actually needs it. I don't think anyway. Just waiting to see what it does, and I just wonder why it's not doing much with that one. Oh, it's probably waiting for a full stack of... Is it waiting for... No, it can't. It's not waiting for a full stack because it's got stacks in here. I think it's just that the network is classed as busy. I'm not aware of any way to increase the speed of the network. It's powered. Yeah. Not aware of any way that we can speed it up faster than... Let's have a look. Open manual. Does nothing. Oh, lovely. What was that message? Patchouli is missing. No patchouli is there. I know that for a fact. But we've seen it working, so we know it does work. I just think that the network's busy. I think as these get back stuff, this will probably kick back on again and do its thing. I think what I will do is I'll keep my eye on it over the weekend and just see what happens. I'm just going to double check that the extraction on this one, because I've got it set to first, if setting it to order makes any difference. Don't think it does. Oh, it does. Because look, that one's now keeping tomato and cabbage in stock. If you look at the tooltip at the top of the screen. It's keeping that one pretty much stocked. The bottleneck is wheat for the patties, because obviously it's making the dough and the patties. But burgers will just be made forever now. So yeah, so that is kind of like the food setup done. Obviously I didn't get as much done as I wanted. I did get the iron jetpack done. I did get the windmill food setup working. It is doing what I need it to do. I'm keeping this one spare for if I want to make mud or anything like that, or anything that I can sort of manually craft a bit. That's what that one will be used for. But other than that, I'm classing that as a success because it's doing what it needs to do. So other than that, that's it for tonight. Hopefully back Monday, as long as there's no issues or anything. and we will continue with the next thing that we're going to be doing. I will probably be building the barn for the animals, so over the weekend I'll probably try and get some of the missing animals. I need to rediscover where the llamas were. I did know where llamas were, but unfortunately when I updated the server I didn't copy over my map information, and so I lost all my waypoints like an idiot, which is very much me. So other than that, that's where I'm going to be leaving it. So take care, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I will see you Monday with probably some more modern Minecraft. Hopefully a modern Minecraft Monday. Take care now.